Hello and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where last time we finished up the fourth case of the game, which was the adventure of the Clouded Kokoro, and I mean, it was really, really good up until the past 10 minutes, which is not unlike a prior case that we played through, because it all boiled down to a knife that just so happened to rotate at the proper angle with the proper force to penetrate someone's overcoat and their skin in the back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's a bit more than a little hard to believe that is what actually happened, and it just honestly, until this point, the game's been a fun ride so far in the sense that I haven't outright hated this case or that one, despite all odds. So it's been a fun ride for the most part, but each case has had something that makes me go, oh, man, like you had something great here, and you just kind of bungled it at the end. So I'm holding out hope that the final case is going to pull through and deliver us something truly spectacular, but we've yet to see that. We've yet to see something match the quality of the first case, and we've yet to see something blow me away in the likes of some of the top tier Ace Attorney cases we've seen in the past. But so we're holding out hope that the final case of the game is going to pull through for us. So without further ado, let's begin the fifth and final case of the first Great Ace Attorney game, the adventure of the Unspeakable story. Let's begin.
It's coming! Sholmes' cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Okay, then. That's one way to start the final case of the game. We're dealing with a spooky monster in the forest, because that went so well for Dual Destiny's second case. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. I guess the Justice Minister ran out of cases to give us, or by which I mean ran out of messes to clean up. April 15th, 9:13 a.m. Wow, we really skipped ahead in time. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Knockety knockety. Wow, you guys really dressed this place up. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes! Is it time to leave for court already? It's okay, so you're going stir crazy. Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning, so shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? I don't know that it's necessarily, like, I feel like maybe making the 10-year-old, making the child cook breakfast for everyone, maybe not the best thing you guys could be doing right here. Yes, Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Yeah, she's going stir crazy. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. She's going a little crazy. You would not fare well in the year 2020, my friend. Okay, well, as well as we're here, I may as well talk to her. The telegram. Was it a singing telegram? So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. You can't conceal a telegram from us. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Then why'd you bother in the first place? Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. If you have to go out of your way to say that, 9 times out of 10, the exact opposite is true. If it were really nothing interesting, you would have just said, it's just the mail, or it's just some junk mail, it's just an ad, it's just the newspapers, it's just whatever, it's nothing interesting. The fact that you're going out of your way to hide it from me seems to imply that the opposite is true. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'd tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. Are we seriously not gonna find out what the— oh, goddamn you, game. Ugh. I suppose the Seki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean that he should have completed the voyage already. Or just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all? You mean, as regards Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Yeah, well, I don't believe that was the Reaper's doing. I don't believe Van Zeek set the damn thing on fire. I don't earnestly believe he would have destroyed evidence like that. Especially since the fact that he obviously knew he was guilty. I don't think he would have just destroyed evidence like that. Like the way that Nightmare's trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Like, I could be wrong, but the typical way a prosecutor reaches their arc is they start out an asshole, then something happens to them, and then by the end they become friendly and happy and nice. So methinks we're not gonna have a Reaper who's actually the big bad, but I could be wrong. You never know. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Osoki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Soseki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Yeah, she knows something. She knows something's up here. Okay, well, I guess we're out of things to talk to you about. I guess while we're here, we can present you my attorney's badge, since that usually yields entertaining dialogue. It means a great deal to me, you know, that you cherished his armband so, and wear it each time you appear in court. Well, it's very important to me. It's what shows that I'm a lawyer, and whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength through Kazuma. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in a trial. But just the other day, I noticed you wearing it when we went to visit that park. Sometimes I forget to take it off. Okay. Well, there appears to be nothing else to do here, so is there anywhere else we can go? We can go to— oh, Sholmes is sweet. Well, then by all means, let's go. Let's go speak to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Herlock Sholmes. For April 15th, Sholmes is sweet. Morning, Bruno. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat. Yeah, I was gonna comment on the bizarre music in the background. I wasn't gonna use this exact description, but yeah, it sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yes. You noticed that, did you? How could I not notice it? Oh, stop. No, stop. Good God Almighty. Cease at once. You need not. You need to be barred from ever touching a musical instrument again for the rest of your life. Oh, my poor ears. Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Is he ever in a good form? Okay, good. Great, he stopped. Hello, I'm the Big Sad.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Good morning. Oh, dear God. A good morning to die, perhaps. Oh, great. What a lovely way to start the day. Depressed Sholmes. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blunt existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. You good, buddy? Do we need to have a talk?
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Do we need to sit down and have a nice therapeutic chat? Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me if it's not too much trouble.
Oh, hey, cat. Hey, kitty. Aw, cute cat. Oh, look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Aw, he's cute. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Cute cat. Cute cat is cute. Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Are we not going to address the depressed hermit crab in the corner of the room? No? We're just going to let him do his... This is an odd reaction to have after seeing that thing unfold in front of us. Like, oh, wonderful. What a happy time we're having. Time to eat breakfast. Yeah, no. How about the depressed hermit crab in the corner of the room?
Ugh, it would indeed be a fine day to die.
Ah, I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk.
I mean, I didn't take a great look at his desk before, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff missing from his desk.
You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened?
It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melisonant tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddess of music has thrown me over.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion.
Well, lucky for you, no one cared about your musical talents anyway, so it's all good.
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time.
Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddess of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it.
Oh, dear.
Ah, why is this happening to me? If I take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left?
I don't know, your job? I don't really think you were ever really that reliant on your violin playing skills. Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Apparently that's not what he doesn't think he's known for that, apparently.
Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today.
Well done, Mr. Sato. Your observational skills do you credit.
Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours.
Have you forgotten his quote-unquote deductions in the other two cases? You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytical scope? That's at Windybanks now.
Sorry? It's at a Windy's bank? It's at a Windy bank?
No, Windybanks, the pawnbrokery.
Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours?
It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly.
But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Susato, we need to have a talk.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you.
It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all.
It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works.
Oh, what's to understand exactly? Well, I'm sure he's going to tell us all about it. How does pawnbroking work? Do tell. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works?
To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they're able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious! So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we'll leave it at Windy Banks, you see.
A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault.
Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch really with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Early?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now.
Okay, you're, I'm just gonna let you do your little woe is me thing. Well, okay, can we talk to you, I guess? Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then.
Oh, yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy.
Waggy.
It would appear his previous owner was completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muse as empty as the hearts of the muses.
Aw, cute cat.
If Mr. Natsume has no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. Unless you're sneaky about it.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable.
Aww. Little slip of the ear. Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You were observant, Runo. Look, I use this.
What is that?
I call it the Cat Flap-O-Mat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right, it can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have been quicker to just make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? That's not... Ryunosuke, you are so smart with deductions and logical reasoning, but you are such a goddamn airhead, I swear to God.
Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful! You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Oh, if only you knew how conventional the idea of a cat door or doggy door would become. Alright, so are we just gonna leave oh, what the?
Oh, what was that?
Waga High? That sounds like a lot of expensive things being broken.
What was that?
Oh no! Waga High's tangled up in your violin.
What? How does one get tangled up in a violin? How does that happen?
I think he thinks it's a toy.
No! What's he doing to it?
Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin.
Why should I care?
What?
I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now.
I don't know if that's just what just happened there, buddy.
Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits.
Yeah, he can do his little woe is me thing. I don't care. He'll do his woe is me thing, and then we'll go off and solve a mystery, and I'm sure all it'll take is a dance of deduction to snap him back in good spirits. Don't worry. Don't you worry about it. We'll do our investigation. We'll come across a dance of deduction, and then he'll snap right back into action and be like,
"It's elementary, my dear Wilson."
Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley?
How do you get tangled up in a violin? I don't even know how that happens. Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Well, I mean, we've already assessed the damage on this side of the screen with Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Let's investigate the actual damage to the violin in question, which I believe would be right over here. So this is the violin, is it?
It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari.
Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me.
I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none! Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but, if you stop playing the violin, music does not disappear from the world. I hate to burst your egotistical bubble there, but, that's not quite how that works.
Mr. Sholmes?
What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Mr. Sato?
Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it?
What's this?
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
Then, what?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola.
What? Oh, great, he's dead. he just wiggled his way into the floor. You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius, so what? Pray, is this piece of string flotsam?
Not your faithful performing partner, then? So basically he got conned by the pawn shop.
Ah, I see what must have happened here.
You do, Iris? He got conned by the pawn shop.
This is just a simple mix-up.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. In the world of Ace Attorney, nothing but simple mix-ups happen. There's never any deeper conspiracies going on. Of course, just a simple mix-up. Of course, that's what it would be. How silly of you for thinking it could possibly be anything deeper than that. Yeah, I can't wait to find out the deep mystery behind the violin that was quote-unquote accidentally misplaced. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Okay, so we have to go back around here to talk to her. No, don't go. I didn't want to go even further to the right. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is... So, getting a bit of a rise from the ashes thing here. We have, one side of the room dedicated to Iris and the other side of the room dedicated to Herlock Sholmes. Getting a very rise from the ashes vibe here. Anyway, let's chat her up. It's not a mix-up. Or at least it's not an unintentional mix-up. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windy Banks until last week. At the pawnbrokers?
Well, Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. Oh, great. He's slowly regaining his confidence.
There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea.
It's a violin. It's an inanimate instrument. It's an inanimate object.
Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument, but it will appear Mr. Windybank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber.
No, but your every sense will deceived by the fact that it just had strings.
Pshaw, what a fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. It will try to fiddle you every time.
Yeah, and yet you keep trusting them regardless? But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Yeah, well, it's Herlock Sholmes. What do you expect? Consistency? Lol.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere.
Up until 3 seconds ago, you were depressed, and ready to give up on life entirely. Now you're like,
chop chop, no dilly-dallying. Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect. Fressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Windybank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Mr. Sato. Without a moment's delay.
But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs.
My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg ever more obtusely?
Alright, say no more. Let's go then.
Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to a pawn shop. The new location's been added. We can go to, a busing place, we can go to Baker Street.
or we can go to the Windibank's pawnbrokery. Alright, let's go. Let's see what magic awaits us here. Oh, dear lord. April 15th, Windibank's pawnbrokery. This place looks fun. So this is a British pawnbrokery.
Oh my! There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Yeah, they got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Ah, Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to shower at the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this.
Oh yes! I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear— oh great, he's back in his regular costume. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging but from the spark of fury in his eyes. Someone got pissed. Oh dear lord, what are you?
Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back.
Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Navahodo, and it is time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Really? We're gonna fight the pawnbroker? Okay. Alright, this should be fun. Alright. Put up your dukes, pawnbroker. Give us back the violin. I guess. Oh, dear lord almighty. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago.
Yes.
The second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I don't know how you didn't notice this the day— well, actually, no. I can believe he didn't notice it the day of, because he's Herlock Sholmes. He's not exactly known for his great deductions, so I can believe he would have let this pass him by.
I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, and inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends.
To give me back what I actually— oh, he ran off into the— is that a gun? No! Whoa! What the hell just happened? Okay, let's dial it back, buddy. Okay, so when we entered the shop, we were at like a 2. We were at like a level 2 of like minorly displeased with you, and then you just scaled it up to a level of 1,000. Like we need to dial it back several thousand levels here. What the hell just happened? Okay, let's calm down, buddy. Let's roll it back a little bit. Let's roll it all the way back to just give us back the violin, and we can all move on with our days. We'll do us, you do you, and we won't cross each other's paths at any point in the future. Deal? Okay. Put down the gun, buddy. What are you doing? Are you not gonna stop him? I don't think that'll be necessary, do you? A little more urgency would be nice there, Mr. Sholmes.
If I may just say one thing before I pop up.
No, someone take the gun out of his hands. Yes. Rip the gun out of his hands.
It was you, sir. Mr. Sholmes took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe.
Sorry?
As I recall, I entered the storm to fetch your violin when I heard,
Here it is. You did?
and when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir.
So it's not even his fault, so get the gun away from your goddamn head. This is all— as should be surprised to no one, pawnbroker's innocent. It's just this idiot that once again messed everything up. So, Mr. Windibank, please, we don't want you to leave the world. I'm sure you're a very nice guy. I'm sure you have a lovely business here. Just take the gun away from your head, give us back the violin, we'll give Mr. Sholmes a good spanking, and then we'll move on with our lives, okay? Okay? Great. Cool.
I shall not grumble or grouse any longer.
No, someone grab the gun! What the fu— okay, so step 1 of stopping someone from killing themselves is to, obviously, in the words of Herlock Sholmes, wiggle on the floor like a worm. Great. Big brain plays. Okay, thank God. Well, that was something.
It would appear the fight is over.
I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy.
Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you?
Aha! I do believe you may be right, sir. Ah! What a laughing matter we've just had to endure. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose.
You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers, and that is all that I am legally allowed to say about you, but behind closed doors, so boy howdy do I have some choice words. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past.
Oh? Peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes and such. Oh! So you're just a douche then. So one of the things you brought in is your 10-year-old child roommate's unpublished manuscript that you probably slaved and toiled over to write, all to put your dumbass name in the spotlight. You absolute douchebag. Wow, you're just a terrible person. Holy hell. Oh, wow. Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? An unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? No, goddammit. Maybe we should just stop wait before you die. Jesus Christ, Sasato! What the hell? Sasato! Bigger issues than the story. Like keeping this poor man alive. My Jesus. Like, you're the best character so far, but good God, bigger issues. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Sato-san is really fired up now. Is it really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank.
For a chest like that. 1 shilling, sir. Not a farting more.
It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript?
Indeed I do, for I am confident it'll be quite safe here.
And that was that. Yeah, so when we go home, first thing we're doing is telling Iris what you've done, and we're gonna watch her beat the shit out of you.
As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mysteries lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this?
I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely.
Of course, sir, of course. Their savings no, please. Maybe you just shouldn't have a gun. Maybe we should just take the gun away from you. Like, permanently. This is all very strange. That's one word to describe this already. I am very intrigued by what the hell's happening here. This is interesting. I wonder, could I ask you something?
A gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my! 5 guineas, you say? You are not taking off your kimono in the middle of the storeroom for 5 guineas. That's not, that will end so badly for several different reasons. How interesting! Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you described. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If, in that time, they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
And the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am. That's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders, should a customer's precious belongings be lost. The only recompense is for me to end it all.
No, that is not the only recompense. This man needs help. Like, no, this man, like, needs genuine mental help. I'm actually kind of legitimately concerned for him. He seems like such a nice guy, but he also seems like he might need help, and I want what's best for him. I wish for nothing but the best for Winterbank. He's so good.
The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs.
Oh, what sort of measures?
I engineered a simple device which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in this shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank?
What was that deep sigh about? What is the red-handed recorder? What on earth is a red-handed recorder?
Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are just 2 below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film, and every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop.
Here, I have an example I can show you.
Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image, even in darkness.
Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look.
So, you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, its identity would be severely exposed.
But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say. That would be a cruel twist of fate, so in other words, your device is useless. Great. Just like you.
I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterberg. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word.
It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older.
Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? Yeah, I'm sure it's doing great wonders I'm sure the 30-minute interval during which everything could be stolen is doing wonders to ensure the safety of this pawnbrokery. You idiot. My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety... People keep telling me in the comments, like, oh, don't worry, he seems stupid now, but he gets smart real soon. I'm like, does he? I don't think he does. Like, he's just an idiot. Nothing this man does comes with any modicum of intelligence whatsoever. I'm waiting for the moment where he just reveals that it's all been a facade the whole time. It's all been an act, but it has not happened yet. So I'm still waiting.
Heaven help us.
Well, this place is interesting.
Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin.
How could you possibly? What? It's a completely different color!
It's a red violin! How do you...
Oh, this man didn't pass kindergarten. This man, okay, so you know on Blue's Clues, when they're like, can you help me find the clue? Instead of pointing to the big obvious clue, this man would point to a flower in the corner of the room. This man does not understand basic shapes and colors. Oh, wow. Wow, okay, so, how does this... This man...
Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them...
No, goddammit, someone take away his gun! I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt, such as yourself.
Fear not.
Sorry?
I've only loaded a single bullet.
No, someone take the gun! That's already what I meant. Good day to you, then, my Mr. Winterbank.
It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes.
Okay, can we get a Kickstarter, like a GoFundMe to go help him, like, get mental help? I'm actually kind of concerned for him.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last!
Oh, what, explore the shop? Oh, great. Okay, well, what interesting things can we find here in the shop?
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there!
Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items that he accepts.
He'd have to be. Otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here.
Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed bettering his portly size. That's why I think we need to take it away from him.
Oh! You don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out? Indeed. Recompense for the blunder.
Oh my! But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
I mean, I'm more worried about, I'm a bit more worried about, that's why I think if there's one thing we need to take the gun, because he's gonna probably, I'm genuinely kind of afraid of him using it on himself.
There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there.
That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any loss in this activity.
Recommended it or not, that's not something I tend to do.
There is but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow.
How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes?
I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder! And the prime suspect of this pawnbroker is ever burgled. Which I'm sure it'll be at some point. Okay, what is this thing?
Look at this! What could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Oh my! Yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
How long's a while?
Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life.
This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness! What a simply delightful machine!
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Ah, science technology advances at such an overwhelming pace.
Well, she's certainly when her birthday rolls around, we know what she's gonna want for her birthday. Okay. So what is there anything else of interest? I mean, I guess she probably said she wanted to look at the shelf itself, right?
What an assortment of things there are
on these shelves here. That was a weird sentence.
crockery, footwear, clocks and watches, almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items, offered for sale by the pawnbroker.
What does that really mean, though?
When you pawn, or quickly pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing.
Oh, yes. Now you've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags and everything.
Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow.
My Treasure University uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. Yeah, well, you say that now, but just, I got some bad news to you when we get to the second game, because I pre-ordered this game, and I got 3 costumes as a reward for pre-ordering this game, so I'm damn well gonna make use of those 3 costumes that I have not looked at yet, but I'm sure are not gonna be anything similar to what you're currently wearing if the previous games are anything to go by when it comes to costume selections. Alright, is there something specific I'm supposed to be looking at here, or am I just, like, checking literally everything in the shop? Because at the moment I have no idea. I don't know what we're actually supposed to be doing here. I think we're just looking around.
Now what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have 2 little windows we're looking through.
Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope? Fascinating!
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there's something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it.
And we've now lost her for the rest of the day.
Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once!
Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose. So this isn't gonna make any sense to me, is it? Because this is, I guarantee you this is supposed to be a 3DS effect. This is gonna make no, this effect, it literally has stereoscopic in the title. It is 100% guarantee. I'm looking at the 3DS right now over there. I guarantee you this is tailor-made. This screams, please play me on the 3DS, is what this just screamed right now.
It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it.
Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present.
By which you mean you do not understand it. You don't understand how stereoscopic 3D works.
Oh.
Great. So, let's take a gamble. How many of these things are going to actually play a role in it? Because obviously this is going to be the setting of the mystery, which is very odd that the pawn shop is going to be the grand finale of this game.
The pacing's been weird in this game so far. But how many of these things do you think is actually going to play a role in the grander mystery? I wonder. I'm very curious to see what the... Because, like I know it goes across 2 games, so I don't know how much across these... Like, how much will be resolved in just this one game, how it's going to be safe for the second game to resolve. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect moving forward. I guess I'll have to wait and see. What is this?
Look at this! Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Ah! There's a small catch just here, look.
We're going to open it, aren't we?
Oh my! That's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded...
I'll be honest, I read that as spring lock mechanism at first. Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Okay, and there's also the calendar, which has the date on it. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? April 15th, today's date.
Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear out the front page to reveal the following day's date.
Reveal as if it's a great mystery. Ooh, I wonder what the next number is gonna be. The perfect calendar for tearaway fellows such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before?
Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see, so I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh, yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
Who? Sounds like there's an argument brewing up by the counter. Weren't we the only people in the shop? Oh! Well, look who decided to show up. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Oh, yes! It's the young lady from Mr. McGillicuddy's trial 2 months ago.
Yep, thanks, I remember. I noticed her immediately. Yep, I got it. She with the pink with the cotton candy gun.
Go on and bet it, you lot!
No, not another gun, god damn it.
Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well.
Yeah, does she look well to you?
Ah? What? You remember me, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out, like the rest of us, nothing to eat, come to pop that black weasel, coat, have you? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it?
Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes!
So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf.
Pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Come on, or I'll make trouble for you. It should also be noted that the person who was attempting to negotiate on your behalf accidentally walked out of here with coming in to retrieve his violin and left with a viola, a completely different instrument with a completely different color palette.
So you may not want to trust him with anything.
As you wish, Mr. Strayed. I will happily remove myself from your presence.
Could you do the same for us too? He's really done it. He's gone. Great. I see this is an absolute win.
I'm sorry, but as I say, there's really just no room for negotiation here.
What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc?
And you! Go on! Leave me alone! Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Susato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to.
Whatever.
Okay. May I ask what you are doing at the pawn shop? Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person to use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, well, I am, alright? I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. Is that a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. I probably got her on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your cherry chase.
Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines.
You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright then, I'm just going to come out and ask you straight.
do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really.
It's a simple yes or no answer.
Suppose, sometimes.
That's a yes.
You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade? But not this time, alright? I swear, this nothing belongs to me!
This the disc that Mr. Winterbank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Okay. Hey, Mr. Winterbank. Will one of the two of you please provide me context of what the hell is going on here?
Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface.
Ah, it's the music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. Made by C418, in a music box.
What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing what particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customer for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a packet of lies. You told me you did. You said it was, well...
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. If that disc with good money, I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ah!
Okay, so, any more context? She's been in before, of course, this little tattered Demalion. I see. And brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm all a customer, me.
You just admitted to bringing in stolen items like 2 seconds ago. So is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry? What do you mean? But what she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket. So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff worth needs stolen.
Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her.
But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank.
Give us all the juicy details on her life. As the little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh.
What? What's wrong with that? It fits, doesn't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So, what about the disc then? How's that come into all this?
Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree a price.
Which evidently is proving to be rather challenging.
I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, you say.
For this heavy black coat which you returned to her care, as I'd understood it.
That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean...
What?
Do you know what you're staring at? Yeah, it was a very, very peculiar camera movement there, game.
Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Give it up! I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask you deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man! It's me old man's, ain't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade?
Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. This is bizarre. So, oh, now what? Alright, your name shall be stick up your name shall be stick up his ass. Implying that the pun being stick up his ass. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Yeah, you have like 3 sticks up your ass.
Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh?
There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a jet, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? Oh yeah, she committed the horrible crime of saying, there's a line, and please get in it. I'm talking with him right now. You'll have to wait your turn. What a terrible, horrible thing she's just done. You stuck-up asshole. And I don't even particularly like Gina all that much. Gina's kind of been a little prick to us so far. But what she said just now is, she's totally in the right to say that. As well as a pickpocket. Who are you? How do you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean from you? Booker! Yes, sir? I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes. The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh my! No, that's a lie! What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say. Any music box discs too. No! You can't have it! You just can't! It's me old man's. It was, now it's mine! Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yeah, why did Sholmes, you picked like the worst day to become a complete and undeniable idiot and pick the wrong instrument to bring home. Because now we're gonna get dragged into another insane mess we have to unravel. He said with a smile on his face because he secretly is very looking forward to seeing how this plot progresses. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Oh joy. Okay, Gina. What the hell is going on here? Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying... What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on me life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragmuffin. You stole it, didn't you? The ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking down along the street, minding my own business, when this little gutling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh, yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these back-slim scoundrels. Oh then, relinquish my overcoat. Yeah, if I were her, I would not be scared of you in the slightest. You do not terrify me. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Oh no, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy coat. You think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence naturally. You what? Okay, and what exactly is this evidence? Evidence that the article Mr. Lestrade deemed actually belonged to this gentleman? Of course! We need only consult Mr. Windibank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh? I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. But then how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's... Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. No one could ever possibly pass on that information to other people. A single word associated to the item in question. Now, how could anyone ever possibly obtain that information? Dubiously. Impossible. So about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all. Oh, you poor, sweet, innocent soul.
Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watcher whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault,
Which is also something that could never possibly be attained through dubious means.
date of deposit, description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir, yes.
I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt. The article in question is an overcode. It was 2 months ago, on February 15th. With a watchword of Professor.
All perfectly correct information, sir.
But ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Ah. Okay, well now I guess we need to talk to him and get a better sense of what the hell is going on here. You look like such a pretentious asshole, by the way. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the Enquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh, yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Oh, what the hell is this? Its inhabitants live on some fiery, brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes, I am Rinosuke Navahodo. I'm a lawyer, well, student of law, really.
My name is Susato Mikotaba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant.
I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egert Yep, that sure is your name, alright, buddy.
Welcome, Eggs Benedict.
Good God, this is like beef stroganoff all over again. I will only call you Eggs Benedict from here on out. I will not call you Eggert Benedict. That will not happen. You are so full of yourself. Enchante. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but the name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand. Oh, what the... I mean, the animations are wonderful, but you are terrible. My overcoat, return it at once to someone with a style to carry it off.
Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him.
You're not alone in that one there, buddy.
So, let's be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir.
With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back.
That's why I ate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar.
And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker.
But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you.
Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. You were expecting another. Yeah. What a Freudian slip there, my friend. Almost like you didn't deposit any of this stuff, but you were just told exactly, you were told the watchword, you were told the date it was deposited, you were told all that stuff, and you knew what to expect to get here, but you never actually deposited it, or something crazy like that. Another disc. Did no one catch that, really?
Oh dear. I forgot to inform you, sir. What was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now.
So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. Oh dear God. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc.
What, it's because of all the sharp little bumps. That man must have scratched his finger on them.
I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me, old man. So you're not having it. Or you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again. So you keep all of it.
Miss Lestrade, why is the disc so important to her? Music box disc. A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. A piece of music which remains unidentified stored on the disc by means of small protrusions.
You there, in the black library. Hand that disc to me at once, please.
Not a chance in hell, Eggs Benedict.
No, don't, he's lying. Girls are all liars.
What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? I don't. Is the answer to run the hell away? Because that seems like the only option is to get the disc away from both of them until we figure out what the hell is going on. Oh, do I have to ask him for help? Do I have to? Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see.
So, you've found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo.
Found what? Sorry.
After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. That's what you call lurking in the shadows, standing in broad daylight? Cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me.
You are such dramatic.
So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place, whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left.
Oh, you are such a drama queen, Jesus.
Hey, do you claim to understand the depths?
Nope, that word is not in my lexicon anymore.
I was so lonely, so desperately lonely.
Then, why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know.
Yes, I overheard much of your conversation, or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered.
You really was sad, weren't you?
Poor Mr. Sholmes.
Oh my god, that animation of hers, that like the quivering of the eyes just melts my heart every time. I can't.
I feel simply awful for you.
It would seem that my inferences are correct.
Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you solved the entire case once again.
He hasn't, but he can keep telling himself that.
My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for?
Oh, good God. It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration, but who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Mr. Straight and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Might as well listen to the deduction. Oh, also, I didn't want to do it in the middle of that because we were kind of in the middle of an intense situation, but we should probably examine the music disc just so we know what the hell we're dealing with here. Oh, and it's a good thing we did. Okay, can I rotate this? Yeah, there we go. For McGilded. Huh, okay. And suddenly another piece of the puzzle falls into place. So it's for Mr. McGilded, is it? Well, he's dead. So,
Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck on the reverse side of the disc. Look, and a scribbled word or two. This is somebody's name. From McGilded? McGilded it couldn't be. But it is Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live.
but why? Why is his name on this? It's a damn good thing I checked these things, because they hide a lot of useful things in these, on those pieces of evidence.
Well, Mr. Straight, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Ah, where's the blueprints have you been, eh?
Pardon?
When a lady's in trouble, a Drew Dead's supposed to be that help.
Stay away! What do you think I was doing? Harsh.
And who, pray tell, are you? You don't want to know. My eggs Benedict. You have, in my eyes, been very delicious in past. A veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions?
Wow. He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg.
It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction.
Yeah, wait till the dance of deduction, and then we'll see how flawless it is.
Just who do you think you are, sir?
Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes logic and reasoning spectacular.
Alright, give me the music. Give me that music, buddy. Give me the logic music, or whatever the hell it's called. There it is.
First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. The what? The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that he wanted to. Yeah, that's exactly what he definitely wanted to get a job at the pawnbrokery. Yeah, we're gonna be checking out the backside of that, which would obviously be the side he was looking at, and see what that really says.
Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you unwittingly clutched to your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction.
What utter what? I've had this cane for years.
The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. What? The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there's only one conclusion: the rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong?
I'm sorry, are we gonna gloss over the fact that the initial on the cane does not at all line up with the name Eggs Benedict, therefore making that the contradiction and not whatever the hell you're talking about?
And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What?
Are you insane?
And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment in this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises.
What? What drugs are you on? What? People tell me he gets smart. I've not seen it yet. I have not seen it yet. Okay, what's topic 2 gonna be? Does he plan to steal some beans that someone left behind to grow a beanstalk to go talk to the giant?
Oh, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning.
Yeah, the crime to dig up the ground beneath the shop.
That is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbroker with a broken shovel. What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there?
Maybe some better dance moves?
Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say?
Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped.
What?
Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs into the bank on the opposite side of the road.
This madness has entered the sewers now, has it?
It was in the sewers from the start.
By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite.
What are you?
In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels.
Master plan?
Even he doesn't believe it.
which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know.
A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you quite lost me.
Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of the road.
Pardon?
Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please.
What is wrong with you? What the Okay, I imagine slaying yourself with this much confidence in front of so many people.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of his pawnbroking puzzle.
Jesus Christ. Mr. Sholmes, this is your worst one yet. You make less and less sense the more you go on.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, will you not agree?
Was it true when you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault?
Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest of confidence.
But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it?
There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal, and thus is all-knowing.
But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret.
Oh.
Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Winterbank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous.
Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care.
Oh my god, you're so dumb.
One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out.
Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes.
An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. Ah, what a laughing matter.
Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Fix this man's broken script. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape.
Jesus. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent, logic and reasoning spectacular.
Alright, let's fix this broken script, shall we? Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. And here's the music back at it again. Alright, step one, hold down the B button until we get to the part where I'm allowed to do things, which hopefully won't be, I'm guessing now? Yeah. Alright, so, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so we could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? I'm guessing on the back of the flyer, whatever it says. Which, oh, look at this. A little bit of a note right here. Oh, look at all the scribbled notes in the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? This is what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade, height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness! It's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of the shop have been written down here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline, 15th of April, which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? And now, we have the reason why he's here.
Take that!
Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade.
Quite so, my dear fellow. It will appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here.
You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Mr. Strayed stole the redemption ticket from you.
But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie.
It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here, to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat.
So, you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions, and now we're back on track. And then we wait for you to, let me guess, this is where we pause again? Yeah, because for some reason you failed to miss the glaring contradiction in the initials on the cane. What's a fair rule? It's the metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement? Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we not know. Okay, well, first of all, whose initials are these? Because they're certainly not yours. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Egbert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are E.B. Yet in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a case bearing the initials A.G. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree?
No, you're wrong. The cane isn't.
You said before that you'd had that cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just bought it from a friend or found it in the park.
In short, that though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong?
I know you're recoiling. Oh yeah, we're back on track. And is this when he looks at the desk? No, this is... Oh, we're pausing here? Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Mrs. Strayed redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. We know that he has identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Okay. How are we gonna do that? Oh, wait. Oh, how would you look at that? So that's what the camera's focusing on. Something focusing on this right here. The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see.
Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit.
Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart.
My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalogue of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winterbank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined had been considerably curtailed.
Alright, one down, one to go. To abscond with a redeemed item. And I'm guessing the reason why you wanted to get your hands on that item is not because of the code itself, because who cares. It probably has to do with whatever's on that music disc. Which I feel like we could test out on that music box over there, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning.
Yeah, we're gonna progress until we are stopped and we can call out whatever he got wrong this time, which is probably a lot of things. Is it here? Yeah, I had a feeling it'd probably be here.
The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers, which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman didn't know the watchword.
Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Winterbank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Winterbank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Well, I mean, he writes them down, right? So where's his list of... Is this the... It's not... you'd think it'd be in the big book, but no. Is it here? Well, let's check the note. Let us see.
Look at this, Mr. Sato. Ah, It appears to be a memo that Mr. Windybank has scribbled to himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor!
Okay, so this is his collection of watchwords then. Mr. Windybank must make a note of the watchword his customers give him right before their eyes.
And it is alarmingly, in an alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look.
Alright, so it would be focus on this.
The method is revealed by the note on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn.
Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a note that he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question.
I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages.
What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade.
In all likelihood, you followed her inside, and then,
when the diligent pawnbroker made a note of her watchword, as is his common practice,
you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger.
And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade.
Master plan?
And if you're wondering why, I'm guessing it has to do with that that music disc that's in the pocket. Which I'm assuming we'll pause here. Probably around the postcard. Yeah, right here.
The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box system was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Windybank isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really? Better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far.
Which is exactly one thing, so not exactly a real thinker right here.
Take that!
You see, this music box just tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back?
It reads from McGilded.
Ah,
Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, through his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scrupulous. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate?
Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat you squeezed yourself into. Ah.
Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict, but the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today
was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded.
Alright, I'll be honest. It's growing on me. The dance of deduction has grown on me quite significantly since the second case. I think it might just be because we did it so goddamn much. Like, there were so many. I feel like, weren't there like 3 different dances of deduction in that case? I feel like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1 would have been enough to suffice.
Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Mr. Sato.
Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the code could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Well, today's April 15th, so 2 months ago today would have been February 15th, sir, that's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, February 15th is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time in which the terrible events were unfolding.
Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence.
You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however. Oh, Jesus Christ. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Hey, Windbag, you wanna get out that pistol of yours that I told you we should have taken away from you? It'd be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Ah, what do I do? How about we rely on Windbag to pull out his pistol?
There are so many things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Yeah, there we go! Mr. Windbag coming to the rescue!
This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life.
This was not the goal of pulling out the gun, Mr. Windbag. Hey, Gibson! Or was it Gibson? No, Gregson. Close enough. Inspector Gregson!
Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise me, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment.
It would seem you have the upper hand. Yes. Yes, we do. Bye-bye. See you later.
Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy.
He literally had a gun pointed at us. I don't know that that's petty.
Petty? Mr. Windbag very nearly met it with his end.
So did we.
Yeah, by his own gun.
Ace Benedict had a gun pointed at us, you idiot. What do you mean?
Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on.
What? What on earth is the case, Inspector?
Spare no detail, Gregson.
I might have said a little too much. And no matter, it's nothing to do with you lot.
Yeah, well, not for much longer.
Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station.
But of course, Inspector.
Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too! Sir!
He got past all of you? None of you stopped him! You brought two Scotland Yard officers with you, and neither of them had the brain capacity to stop him. Really? None of you... The Scotland Yard at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we've fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble.
Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed.
Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. Oh, yes?
I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGillis down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh, yes, of course.
No, don't give it to him. That's mine. It is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGill that has to be taken in as evidence now.
As evidence?
If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector.
Well, that was a day. And so we handed Mr. McGillicud's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and was summarily surfed out of the shop and onto the street. Well, that was a day on the job. Jesus Christ. That's how they want to start the case. That's the beginning of the case. That's how things start. That's investigation chapter 1. Well, that was awesome. It started out as a nice little mundane day in the life of poor woe is me Herlock Sholmes. We go to the pawn shop, we had a nice time there, learned a lot of stuff. Then we had this whole mini mystery about Gina Lestrade and Eggs Benedict and the stupid music disc, and it was a self-contained mystery proving that it was actually her who had the rights to the music disc, and he was trying to steal it from her. But it left the mystery of what the hell is the music disc? Why is it important? What's going on with the overcoat? Why did he want it? I mean, he wanted the overcoat because of the music, but why does she want it? What's the deal? Okay, you have my intrigue game. You have my attention. I am very curious to see what happens next. Alright, the final case also a good start so far. That'll do it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all tomorrow for some more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Goodbye.